all of me. I often wondered if there would ever be a time in my life that I would get to be myself, the fullest version of me. I often wondered if I would get to meet her, get to know her, or fall in love with her. It's had me thinking about all these moments I might have caught a glimpse of her, felt her, heard her, been her. And in all those moments I realized the common factor was me, only me. It was moments I shared with only myself that I got to be the fullest version of me, all of me. It made me realize just how long I'd been living as the smallest version of myself with and for others, shrinking my size, my value, my being to fit the standards and expectations or capacity of another, of so many others. For a while I thought it was because I was too much and that was a bad thing, that something was wrong with me. So to avoid that feeling of shame and disgust and fear of being too much, I have, for as long as I can remember, been as little of me as possible. I was scared that being too much for others would mean that I would never be accepted. I was scared that being my full self was never enough, and yet too much all at once. How strange to fear something both so equally, that I sought to exist as nothing, as something, as everything in between. Over time I've come back to myself, the many parts of me. I've explored, wandered, accepted, cherished, learnt, and fallen in love with all of the versions of myself that I've met over the years. And in every moment I've had to face the fear of being too much and not enough. In every moment I've had to find safety in being a different version of myself in my own mind, heart, and body. It was as if deep down my soul already had accepted me, these many versions of me, as if it already knew something that I hadn't quite yet accepted. It seemed the rest of me still had some loving to do. And thankfully in time I began to enjoy these moments of being me, when no one else existed. I got to feel free, loved, and understood, and so entirely and utterly safe. It came to a point where the only person I felt I could truly be myself with was me. And perhaps this was and still is true. Maybe I am the only person who could ever unconditionally love, understand, and accept me and all of my being. And maybe that's okay. Maybe I don't need anyone else to understand me, to love me, to accept me all parts, because one day across many days, weeks, months, and years, I discovered that I am enough for myself. I am not too much or not enough. I am everything to me. The only confusion now is that I'm still learning how to not be the smallest version of myself with others. It's taken time, but now I realize that I'm only too much for people who do not have the capacity or capability to understand, hold space, love, or accept me. And that even if they don't, their capacity in no way reflects the value or the worth of my being. In no way does the ability or the lack thereof of another person's own understanding and acceptance of me actually have anything to do with the existence or comprehension of my being in my entirety. My existence, my whole being is, has been, and always will be entirely, fully, and wholly my own. And for this I'm grateful, because now I have the capacity to accept, understand, and unconditionally love all of me.